Hey guys, welcome back to Wind It Back Watches. Today on the bench, I have this vintage Seiko Quartz day date. I have a feeling this watch will clean up great, and as much as I'd like to keep it for myself, this will actually be a Christmas present for my little brother. You can see here I'm testing out the day date function, and thankfully it works great. This is not the original bracelet to this watch, but this is how I purchased it secondhand. And it's actually a quality bracelet and a style design that I think my brother would like. As you can see, it's filthy, so it's definitely going in the ultrasonic cleaner. I took the bracelet off camera, and so now I'm going to inspect everything. The bracelet is really disgusting inside, and the case is a bit deceiving, but it's pretty dirty as well. Even the spring bars were filthy. Off camera, I used the tool on my bench to open this case back, and I was just holding my breath, hoping that it wasn't completely corroded inside. And not too bad. I'm only noticing some minor corrosion. Here you can see the dried flakes from the corrosion inside the battery cell. And here's what the old battery that was inside the watch looked like when I took it out. And here I'm using an air puffer to get all those flakes completely out of the movement. And just from doing that, it looks much better in the battery cell. Here's the new battery I'll be putting in. No movement swap needed. I have a ticking watch. So with that out of the way, I'm going to work on getting my bracelet into an ultrasonic cleaner. So instead of putting the bracelet in just on its own, I jerry-rigged some paper clips on either side to make sure that it stretched out in order for the ultrasonic cleaner to be able to get inside of the bracelet where all the dirt is. So here you can see some of the scratches on the crystal and all that dried, caked on gunk on the case. I'm going to use a sharpened piece of pegwood in order to get all that off without scratching the case, which I'll show you here now, sped up. At this point, I realize that there's a lot of gunk in the case back, and so I do end up taking it off and adding it to the ultrasonic cleaner. And here I'm just using a razor blade to sharpen up the piece of pegwood to make sure I can get it into all the crevices I need it to. I was definitely wishing I had put gloves on before doing this. This watch was definitely deceivingly dirty, and it took me quite a bit of time to get it to the level of clean that I wanted. Off camera, I'll use a Q-tip and a microfiber cloth along with a light cleaning agent in order to completely remove all of this gunk that I'm scraping off. And here I'll be grabbing the Polywatch in order to clean up the crystal. I'll put a link to it in the description if you'd like to support the channel and buy through my link. I would greatly appreciate it. Here's the aftermath of the water in the ultrasonic cleaner. And here's the bracelet, looking pretty dang good. I was definitely happy with putting the bracelet in expanded versus just laying it in normal. I will definitely be doing this from now on. I had the watch safely stored in this container while the case back was getting cleaned. And here you can see the case back is looking pretty good. You can also see how disgusting my bench is. I went ahead and cleaned and sanitized my bench, and now I'm going to start working on the crystal. I should have done a better job of showing it, but there was quite a few scratches on the crystal. It took me a good bit of time to get it to the point that I was satisfied. And here's the first look at the watch after all that work. The crystal looks almost brand new, and the case is super clean. I didn't want to put the case into the ultrasonic cleaner because I would have had to remove the mineral crystal, and I didn't want to take the chance of ruining it. And now we'll take a look at the bracelet. Looking so much better, and I definitely had to still clean up a little bit in between with a microfiber cloth to get out all the gunk. I also made sure it was totally dry before I started to put the bracelet back on. And here's the final product. It looks fantastic. I think my brother will be really happy with this watch. We have very similar taste, mostly because he just copies everything that I do. If I were to put this watch on eBay, I'd probably get about $70 to $80. I think this is just a great reminder that you don't need to spend a bunch of money on something in order to give somebody a really thoughtful gift. Here it is on my wrist. I think the wider bracelet will look a lot better on him. If you made it this far, I hope you'll consider subscribing, as I've just started this channel, and these videos take quite a long time to edit. I'll see you guys on the next one.